Hi everyone. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about sketching sine cos graph, and this time we have all type of transformation, which is you can see the dilations, the translation left and right, up and down, and we're going to consider a reflection as well. Okay, so let's get started. All right. So if you watch previous video, we talk about the dilation. We just haven't considered the vertical translation. So I'm going to summarize all the steps again. Um, Step one is you find the amplitude, which is the number in front of sine or cos. As you can see here, is A. All right. Now with the range, because the amplitude equal A, the range will be negative A to A. Okay, now because you do have B at the vertical translation, that will affect your range. So the final range will be plus minus B to the original range. So you would have negative A plus or minus B. So you have negative A plus minus B, and you do the same thing here, A plus or minus B, right? And then you're going to find a period. So this period is still 2 pi over n, which is the number in front of sine cos. And then we find the step, um, which is 1/4 times a period. Okay, and the period is 2 pi over n. We're going to do an example later. Now, our next step is we're going to find the original point. So the point before the horizontal translation. So you start with 0, and then each time you're going to add in one step. So 0 and then plus the step each time. So I'm going to be dotted here, and then I add each step. Okay. And then finally, I'm going to consider the final point, which is the translation left and right, which is epsilon here. Okay, now we're going to do that step by step, and I'm going to show you how to apply in the example. And we do one for sine, one for cos. All right, so for this one, we start with saying the amplitude equal 3, right? The range will be negative 3 to 3. Now we consider, because there's a 2 here as the vertical translation, you're going to plot 2 to this range. So you have negative 3 plus 2, and you have 3 plus 2. Okay, so negative 3 plus 2 give you negative 1, and 3 plus 2 give you 5. That's the final range. And then you find a period. So the period is 2 pi over n, and n is the number in front of t, which is 2, the 2 pi on 2, which is pi. Then I have the step. So one step, every step, they go by a quarter of the period. So one step is a quarter time a period, which is a quarter time pi, is pi over 4. So the original point that I have on the graph, so I start with 0. And because the step is pi over 4, I add pound 4 each time. So 0 plus pound 4 is pound 4. Pound 4 plus another pound 4 is 2 pound 4. And then continue 3 pound 4, 4 pound 4, which is 1 pi. All right. Now, we haven't considered the translation yet, this one. So let's ignore that for now. Okay. We just do what we have so far. If you think about the graph at this stage, um, we have, oh, sorry, this looks too uneven. All right. So negative 1 to 5. So I need to give more room for the positive. So I have negative 1 to 5 is the range. Then here I have all the points. So I have 0, I have pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, and 4 pi over 4, which is 1 pi. All right, I have all here. Now, the midline is between -1 and 5. If you add -1 plus 5 divided by 2, you get the average, which is the middle line. -1 plus 5 is 4, 4 divided by 2 is 2. Another way to see is on way this number here, the vertical translation. That will be your midline. Okay, so 2, I'm going to do the dot, 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 dot. That's where your midline happening. Okay, now this because this is a cost graph, the side graph, sorry, we're talking about side graph. So side graph start from the middle up to the next point is hit the maximum. Okay. And then let me just rub this one out because I'm going to do that in Logica as well. So I don't want you to be confused. And then the next point is hit back the middle. So middle, maximum, middle. The next point hit the minimum, and then the next point hit back the middle. So you're going to have something like that. Okay, this is one period. Now, we're going to add in the horizontal translation. So if it, as you can see, if it minus -0.4, so this is translation -0.4 to the right. So you're going to plus +0.4 to every single graph here. Okay, so this 0 here, as you can see, you move +0.4 to the right. This is +0.4. So I have here. Okay, this point move +0.4 to the right become here. This become here. This become here. And +0.4 move +0.4 to the right become here. So you can sort of see if I link them together, the graph will look like that now. Okay, so this will be the final graph. And let me just wrap the original out. There you go. And just before you finish, make sure you check with the domain. So here they give me the domain is +0.4 to 5.4, which is exactly what I need, +0.4, and this is 5.4 here. If they give you a different domain, you just need to add in more voice and then cut them off where appropriate. All right. So you can do another example for cost, pretty much the same thing. So okay, let's start it again. But for cost, we just start from the maximum instead of the middle, and we go the same process. Let me rub this one out. All right, let's start it again. Okay, so for cost, the amplitude equal to the range is -2 to 2. And then you consider the translation 1 here down, so -1. So you would have -2 -1 and 2 -1 as the range. So you have -3 and 1. Okay. The period is 2 pound n and the number next to t, which is 2 pound 3. This step is a quarter time a period. So 1 quarter times 2 pound 3, which is 2 pi on 12 is pi over 6. So you will have 0, pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, 3 pi over 6, and 4 pi over 6, which is a period 2 pound 3. All right. So if we think about the original graph, how does that actually look like? We're going to have okay. So you have the range, the original range is -3. You can see -3 to 1. And the point that I have all here, I'm going to in 0, pound 6, 2 pound 6, 3 pound 6, 4 pound 6, which is 2 pound 3. But I'm not simplifying that right now. All right. So because this is a cost graph, we start from the top of 0 here. Okay. Now with the middle number between -3 and 1, If you add them together divided by 2, you get the middle, or you can just look at this. The middle is -1, which makes sense. So here, cos I start from the top, and then the next point hit the middle, next point hit the minimum, next point hit the middle, next point hit back the maximum. So I have my graph that look like this. So this is the original graph before the translation happened. Okay, now you do the translation. So if it's 100 plus 100, this means you're going to move 100 to the left. So you're going to take away 100 to all of these points, right? Now, how much is 100 if you scale like this? So you can see this is 0.6. 2.6 is actually 100. So you can see going by 2 scale, 1, 2, that is how big is 100. Okay, so on this side, I'll go 1, 2. Okay, so I have, so here this point you move 100, so you have to move 2 scale, 1, 2. So this point become here, that will be -100. And then the same thing, this point you move 2 scale, you move 1, 2, that's become here. This point you move 1, 2, that's become here. This you move 1, 2, that's become here. And the last one you move 1, 2, that's become. So we move 1, 2, that's become here. And then we link all these points together. We're going to have a final graph that's being translated to the left. Okay, and the domain is what we need as well, which is -100 to 100. All right. Now, here we have some more example. And this time, sometimes I can change the domain a little bit, and we pretty much do the same process. Okay, so I'm going to do, maybe I do A, because this look new, that look square root, and some of you are really hesitant on the square root, and I might do C, but the same process. Okay, so the amplitude is √2, okay? The range for this will be -√2 to √2. Now, because you want to plus 1, right? So you would have -√2 plus 1 and √2 plus 1. A lot of you might be struggling estimate what that is. So if you think about √2, root of 1 equal 1, root of 4 equal 2. So root of 2 will be in the middle between 1 and 2. So just think it's about -1 point something ish. And when you plus 1, -1 point something plus 1, that gives you 0 point something. I don't know what that is, but I know it's going to be a negative number. And same thing here, 1 point something plus 1, that gives you 2 point something. Okay, that's just an estimation of where they are on the graph. So if you think about the axis, you would have -0 point something is around here, which you write as -√2 plus 1. And then √2 plus 1 will be up there, okay, 2 point something. And the middle line is on way, this number 1. So far you have here. The period is 2 pi over n, which is 2 pi over 1, is 2 pi, okay? The step will be a quarter times the period, which is 1/4 times 2 pi is 2.4, which is 0.2. So you know that you go by 0.2 each time. So you start from 0, you go 0.2, 1 pi, 3.2, and 2 pi. That's how you know the step. And the side graph, we start from the middle, and they go up, middle, minimum, and middle. So they would go like that. All right. Now, one thing that I want to show you is also the axis intercept. So to find the axis x-intercept, what you got to do is you have to find what the x-intercept here, okay? And the y-intercept have been given to you, so you don't have to find that. So to find the x-intercept, you let y equal 0. So you let the whole equation here equal 0, all right? So I would have root 2 psi of x plus 1 equals 0. Then I'm going to find psi of x. So psi of x equal, take the 1 over, become -1, and then root 2, you divide by root 2 on the other side. Okay, now the angle that have psi equal 1 on root 2, the reference angle, which is 45 degrees, right? Because psi 45, 1 on root 2, or pound 4. Now, because you have a negative, you're going to draw it out. And because negative ASTC, the negative side will give you quadrant 3 and quadrant 4, because T and C. Theta is the reference angle is pound 4 in quadrant 1. In this quadrant, it will be pi plus theta. If you remember, the second quadrant is pi minus theta for your information, and the last one is 2 pi minus theta. So I have pi plus pound 4, that gives me 5 pound 4, which is one angle. And then I have 2 pi minus pound 4, give me 7 pi on 4. Okay, so I'm going to have x here as 5 pi on 4 or 7 pi on 4. So what does that mean? If I look at my graph, you can see this point here, they have two x-intercepts. So one of them will be the smaller one, 5 pi on 4, and the other one is 7 pi on 4. Okay. If you need to, if you need to find, let's say the graph go to another period, so it go like that, right? And if you need to find another x-intercept, let's say you want to find this and this, then what you got to do is you just add a period from 5 pi on 4. So from 5 pi on 4, you just plus one period. You get to the next point, and the period is 2 pi. So let's say you want to find this point, you would do 5 times 4 plus 2 pi. 2 times 4 is 8, 8 plus 5 is 13. So that's how you get the next period. Just add the next x solution, you just add a period on top of that.